I got you.
Simmer down.
You're live. Perfect. Upside down at the door.
Panning over?
Is it not flashing anymore?
It is
Still is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that doing it on the replay?
Where are we at?
Yeah, not as bad, but it definitely does.
Okay, we're gonna call the committee of the whole meeting to order for Monday, September 15th.
Halfway through.
The District of Taylor recognizes with respect this traditional territory of Treaty 8. We honor the deep connection to the land and water where everyone's rights are respected and opportunities are available for all to thrive. Notice of new business. Seeing none, adoption of agenda. Moved by Councillor Turnbull, second by Councillor Graziano. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. No guest or delegations, no gallery. One set of minutes for adoption from September 2nd, Committee of the Whole. Moved by Councillor Giesbrecht, second by Councillor Turnbull for adoption. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of adoption? Opposed? Carried. Any business arising, staff? Thank you, Council. No new business. Staff reports 10.1 Protective Services Departmental Update. Chief.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Taylor Fire Rescue responded to 139 calls for service since our last date. And that's just slightly down from our 142 from last year. Deputy Fire Chief Hicks has completed his onboarding and has started to get into the how we conduct operations here in Taylor.
I heard him at 4:40 this morning when I was woken up.
I know, that would be me.
He wasn't him?
No,
Well, you were sounding a little different on the radio at 4:40.
probably I was still tired. We have installed, you might or might not have seen, some hydrant markers around town for faster identification and location with our firefighters, especially in the winter months and at night. Annual hose testing was completed over the weekend by our members. The department is preparing also for our fall and winter operations, getting our trucks ready and starting our fall training program with our juniors, our probationary, and with our normal members. Emergency management, tomorrow is the TIMEX Emergency Operations Center first tabletop exercise that will be complementing secondary events. Maybe not necessarily the first event that happens, but everything that falls after that. Things that sometimes we don't get to test on because it takes longer to deal with. So that is what we're going to be.
Is everybody involved in the tabletop exercise like in a live?
No. So just the EOC in this case and the senior individuals from the industry, just so that we can.
Okay, thank you.
Just requesting some assistance. And that'll be the theme for the next 3 years when we get into a functional or a full-scale exercise. Here at the district, our members are carrying on with their own professional development and individual courses within emergency management. And we are also attending 2 other industry emergency exercises this coming month to help assist as we have in the past. Bylaw services, we are up to 56 complaints, where last year we were at 55, mainly concentrated around unsightly properties that continue to be cleaned up around the district through education, and that is the primary focus and has been very good with compliance. Water conservation, on the other hand, education and enforcement has had to take place, and we are continuing to protect the water supply that we all enjoy.
A quick question. Are water bans still on?
Yes.
They are,
Stage 1 restrictions.
Right, so it's still the same hours for watering. It's not
October,
September 30th.
September 30th? Okay, that's what I wasn't wondering. I knew that there was a date. Thank you.
And occupational health and safety, this month was worker orientation review. And we're happy to say there's no reported incidents or near misses again in the district in the month of
It's awesome.
September. And moving forward, back to Taylor Fire and Rescue, our main prep coming up is Fire Prevention Week that takes place October 6th to the 10th.
Questions, comments?
I have one question, it's kind of stupid. So I did appreciate your yellow things. I was gonna ask about that, but I figured they were for the reason that you had. But I do have a question, and this has got nothing to do with Taylor. So is there a legal requirement to what color hydrants are? Because there's 2 hydrants on the way to Fort St. John that are green on a boulevard. Doesn't seem very safe.
So
They mean it.
to answer the 2 questions, no, there is no legal requirement.
Okay,
What happens though is in different municipalities, mainly cities, hydrants have different pressures. And for firefighters to realize what those pressures are at a visual notice,
color.
color.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting.
Here, because ours does not fluctuate, we stay just one color.
Interesting.
Okay,
The reason why those 4 are green, because there's 2 more even further in town. That's where the raw water comes through from the reservoir to the Fort St. John Public Works Yard or the pump plant. And when that water is used, it throws out some alarms.
okay.
And without them knowing, they think they're being either running out of water or reduced water. So for identification purposes, not just for our mutual aid partners, but for the Fort St. John firefighters, as a reminder, they painted them green so that they know not to use them unless it's an absolute emergency.
Okay, thank you.
Interesting.
Some towns paint them like colors of cows and.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. They make them pieces of art.
Yeah.
That was one of the good information. I had no idea.
No,
Thank you.
I didn't either.
I don't know how much pressure a cow has.
The ones in Prince Rupert are paying those cows.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll go to 10.2 operations department.
Thank you. First, I apologize for the formatting issues on this report. First of all, streets, we're going through the snow and ice removal policy, as you see later today. We started another round of shoulder mowing, but have since broke down, but we've covered most of the priority 1 routes with the pass. Within the water systems, no real updates. We weren't able to get any earlier date with BC Hydro to fix our well number 3. And it's talking about restrictions and that it's been a little touch and go. With our reservoirs, keeping up with just the wells that we have, but we've managed to get through. Within the sewer system, the new centrifuge capital project is still online for the 2026 deadline of January, and as well as under budget. And we're starting we haven't got to clean the sewer mains yet. We have advertised, but other things have kept us busy. Hoping to start that this week and still be done end of September. So the landfill site is actually the more multi-departments, still working with the community services and the golf course on the golf course irrigation water supply line. The pond is pretty much full again, which is good, and seems to be working properly from the source. The rhythm auctions was held last weekend at Charter Lake. We had a few vehicles and units there. Haven't got the full list of what they went for yet, and we're still hoping the contractor to come view the compost site.
What did you hear what they went for too? Because I really wanted to bid on I figured I could use a plow truck, but yeah, I got busy with hose testing and then straight to hockey, so I'll save some money. But I was curious what they went for. Any comments?
No, thank you.
I had one question. Are we all finished with that landfill site that we were reclaiming with PRD?
So the sulfur issue, the sulfur cap is completed and reseeded.
Yeah.
We still haven't completed the bulky waste yet. Yeah, we're still hoping to get
I
that.
just know it was mentioned that maybe we'd put that trail back to the way it was and it's not yet. I've seen it yesterday. It's
Oh,
still
yeah,
a drop
it won't
off.
be the same as it was, it'll be better, I guess, yeah.
Thank you.
But that's actually a different project now. That's the deactivation, which is next year, hopefully, we'll start that.
All right.
Okay, no other comments? We'll go to the 10.3 snow removal and ice control policy.
Okay, yeah, so after our discussion last committee, the whole meeting, rejigged, some tracking, the current policy, made some edits for discuss, and discuss.
I like and agree with the paragraph that says staff felt it could make the following adjustments to the current policy.
3 points.
Yeah, the 3 bullets there, I agree with what staff is saying.
Okay, other comments? It's
Achievable.
I'm just looking.
There will be adjustments to the operations budget for staffing and also buying power rooms, yeah, if required.
Okay,
We also have the trackless front room too, if it's a larger boulevard or.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's also with that, there's still the crystalline silica issue with watering it down and still a process to, you just can't sweep it off.
Yeah.
Some people can when they're not being watched, but we can't, so.
And I like the more clarification on possible boulevard damage too.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
last time we did it, and I couldn't really find the good language in this, so I kind of made it a little better. Also made a change to our plow trucks, so we're down to 2 plow trucks now, so.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're in far better shape.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, well, our oldest one now, unit 48, is a 2012 truck, like we got it in 2014.
Yeah.
That's already over 10 years old, so we look at the capital for a newer one again.
Yeah, but those ones we just got rid of were really old.
A little older, yeah, 2001. Yeah. The Volvo was, I'm not sure how old International was, it was the 90s.
90s, yeah.
Don't expect the new ones to last that long.
No,
I don't know why you said that.
Okay, I guess we're all in agreement
for
with
the
the
next meeting.
Yeah, for next meeting, yeah. Who knows, we might come up with something for you and throw you off.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, I do have a question. So when we talk about, when you have to meet certain criteria.
Yep.
They just come in and apply and we just take their word for it? There's not like a medical?
No, so sorry.
We can verify their age. It's the verifying whether or not there's another able-bodied person in their house that is difficult too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's gotta be.
We can verify their age. We can look and see if they claimed the homeowner's grant. I mean, there's a number of ways we can verify age.
And also disabled too, you can verify, they can bring in some.
Yeah.
Documentation.
Yeah, that stuff we can verify. It's the able-bodied living with that is young or able-bodied or however that's worded. That is difficult.
Yes.
Well, they might be
If not
able bodied, but
impossible.
they're probably useless.
Yeah.
Well, it's the facts. Anyway, okay, thank you, Mr. Nelson.
Lives forever. Oh, no, it's recorded.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It's okay,
Nobody
guys, I get
disagrees
one.
Um, 10.4 Lone Wolf Golf Club Office Finance.
Thank you very much. Staff is pleased that the golf course revenue and pro shop and food and beverage revenue has exceeded our budget expectations for this year. And through the end of August, we are about $10,000 ahead of where we were at the same time last year. So quite happy with the way.
Yeah, no, it's good for each other.
Better than the last guy that managed it by 10,000, I guess.
Someone had to Mrs. Marcus, I do have one question. So with all the kids leaving and going back to school and whatever, how's the staffing going? Because it still looks fairly busy.
Yeah, it has been busy. The hours are starting to shrink with daylight coming later, and same with nightfall coming. So with the reduced hours of operations, and staffing hasn't been too big of an issue yet.
And not to put any pressure on you, but I would expect, I know that people have gone back to work, school and all that stuff, but the parking lot has definitely been a little fuller in the evenings with the wonderful weather we've had.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see a strong September.
Lots of,
We've had a better first 2 weeks than last year.
What's going on today? It was swamped. over there.
Yeah, sure, it's my feature.
And I've also heard great things about the restaurant, so that's good.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
operation seems to be really smooth over there. Anytime I've been there, it seems really good.
Yeah.
You guys try some tonight when they bring over appetizers.
oh, is that Amberton?
No, they're gonna bring it here because it's anticipated as a late meeting, so.
Butter tarts and dappies. I knew I should have brought the vacuum.
Okay, so it looks good. And,
Yes.
like I said, I mean, I glance at it and I always go to that bottom one because that's it gives the reflection of
Yeah,
this year versus last year and how we're doing. So that's great. 10.5 Cemetery Committee update, Mr. Wally.
Alrighty, I'm trusting everybody had an opportunity to be able to read through the report. Highlight on it as required or asked of council, we put together a committee to review concerns with regards to communication, training, being the more specifics of how things were managed and how we're going to move things forward. So the team met September 29th, had a good discussion. The conversation associated to everything basically was favorable and appreciative of the work that the team has already done. The attached pamphlet that you have in your agendas is what currently sits in the front office of the district office, as well as the front office as the hub. And the concept behind this is to provide information to those who are requesting information, able to take it home, so other members of the family can understand the process, as well as not depending on the person visiting with us to try to remember the whole conversation when they're talking to the loved ones about the, whether it be the booking of the hall or whether it being making arrangements for an interment or an inurnment in the cemetery. So long-term plans with this process is to ensure that it's updated and reflects the current policies and procedures in place for managing the cemetery as well as community hall. And we're also looking at developing similarly a document that can be handed out specifically from here should someone come in having concerns about how do I run the community hall, who do I contact, that sort of stuff. Even though that's referenced as slightly on this document, it just gives some more information to help them. Because let's be honest, this is going through a troubled time in one's life, and you're not necessarily always going to remember the conversation that you had. So this gives you something to take home and to review with yourself, your family members, as well as to remind you of the dialogue. The other added bonus of this is the team here in the office has been dedicated to having one-on-one conversations with individuals coming with inquiries, so as to not make anything a public kind of issue. So they either bring them into a private office or they bring them into council chambers, have that one-on-one conversation, and make sure everything's taken care of appropriately. So recommendation from the committee itself, as noted in the report, is that this is really no need to continue with the committee. Should there be anything that arises in this current role and my next role, we'll be more than happy to address them head on.
Okay, comments?
I have two questions, although I was on the committee. We talked about this with the committee. Do you think that the funeral homes would let us supply some pamphlets there?
We have had a conversation, and yes, there's not a problem with putting a pamphlet in one of them. But they're not gonna speak to it. It's
No.
just information.
Just like if they have a pub. And my other question is more for, right, it says on the pamphlet, visiting hours for the cemetery is open to the public from sunrise to sunset each day. Does somebody go and open and close and lock it up? I didn't think so.
It's a deterrent for someone to decide that 11 o'clock at night they need to show up there with a case of beer maybe.
Gotcha.
And we have bylaws associated to that as well, so
Thank you. You guys did a phenomenal job.
thank you.
I have to say,
Yeah.
on behalf of the other people on the committee, we were all really impressed with what had been done, because basically you brought us everything and we talked about it and it was like, yeah, it's good.
Well, that is Ms. Westgate's.
Good
Yes.
job, guys.
Thank you for all this work. Okay, we'll go to 10.6 municipal ticketing information bylaw. Mr. Roy.
As everybody's aware, this was one of those little fun projects we have been working on and will continue to work on for the foreseeable future. Further to the reports, I have yet to receive feedback from the province with regards to what our question is, which is, can we as a district amalgamate our bylaw, notice of enforcement, and our municipal information bylaws so that we're simplifying the process into one bylaw, making it easy peasy on our end. While we're confident that we'll get a yes from it, we're not looking to proceed with that kind of action until we've got confirmation that the province is on board with us. And that discussion or questions to the province has also been, so if in fact we can merge these together, what do we actually call that bylaw? And as you're aware, an MTI bylaw, a municipal ticketing information bylaw, is associated to major bylaw infractions or contraventions, however you wish to look at it. And the bylaw notice of enforcement bylaw is for minors. So the other question was, how do you define the difference between a major and a major and a minor? In the form of being able to determine what the fines are associated to it, that sort of stuff, and how do you keep it separate. To date, we have yet to receive feedback, but the team is still continuing to review it and start to look at the associated bylaws, both to municipal ticketing information bylaw and a bylaw notice of enforcement bylaw. That one's always a fun one, as there are areas in there that we need to look to either amend or repeal, completely develop new bylaws associated to those pieces. So continuing ongoing work on that one. I anticipate it'll take a few months before we get this one completely across the finish line.
The biggest thing is waiting for the provinces.
I did not receive anything by Friday of last week, so we will be
But
actually.
that's gonna determine everything else, right?
Yeah, so we will be picking up the phone this week because, and referencing that email that went out, I'll looking for some clarity. And who knows, maybe they're having to do their homework too.
Hey, I don't know how many years ago it was, but we had someone come in and present to us the two different systems and what we should be using and why and all that.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't know who all was here for that, so. How do we look that up? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I seem to remember this too.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Janet Presley, and we still have
There we go.
all
Janet
But there was someone else besides Janet Presley that gave a presentation to us.
on B&Es.
Yes. And the reason, the pros and cons of each, I thought it was someone else.
We can look up and see if we have anything in our
Because we
records.
do
Just
have-
that report might be helpful to help.
Well, even
to
refresh,
us
yeah.
And what the differences are.
Yeah, because we still have the PowerPoint from that.
Oh, there we go.
So
Maybe it was Janet then. I thought it was.
Chief Byford did come to council, I believe it was in 23, for the bylaw notice of enforcement to be registered, to be able to be a community that can utilize that. Based on the definitions of a municipal ticketing information and a bylaw notice of enforcement is one, the fines associated to it, as well as your complaint process. So the bylaw notice of enforcement is adjudication appointed by the district, whereas a municipal ticketing information is typically going to court. So there's an intensity difference there on.
Yeah, the report was pretty involved, so if we have it, maybe we could share it and we will have it some, if it's not too much trouble. That's a good refresher, and that work's all been done. Okay, thank you. Request for expression of interest, Mr. Wally.
So going back to earlier last year, the team put out a request for expression of interest for utilizing the vacant space of the old medical clinic. We received 3 proposals, one being the Peace Passage Historical Society, and the other one being the Taylor Community Services. And then there was a proposal from the library at the time. The decision of council was to move forward with the Historical Society, who are currently in the building and utilizing space for storage. And we pursued the other opportunity with the services, and unfortunately, they were not able to bring all the pieces of the puzzle together for us to be able to engage. At which time, the library offered an opportunity to utilize the whole facility, and council asked us to be able to go back and review and see if there was any other interest. So we reached out to the community a couple times throughout the summer, and the only response that we received was once again the district library. So we leave it to the committee to make a decision, or not to make a decision, but to provide some guidance as to where they see us moving forward with this. And then we can take it from there and make a formal.
I'd say accept the library's proposal.
What about the Peace Historical Society? Wasn't there talk one
They
time?
just use the basement.
Yeah, they just use storage.
Oh, I see.
Well, the library currently uses what would have been the reception area. But so they allow Peace Crossing to have their meetings up there instead of being in the basement. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay.
Okay. Good.
Mhm.
10.8 amended hours of work and overtime policy. Ms. Ford.
Thank you. So you have in front of you a red line version of the hours of work and overtime policy and a clean line version. Since its adoption, I believe it was 2023, we've identified some sections that require some updates, some clarity, and just more information regarding ESA standards. So just looking for feedback on the proposed amendments.
I have a question.
Please, go ahead.
On page 46, 55, under the heading of days of rest, and where the bullets are and they're all changes, and I'm just making sure I'm reading this right. So if you get called out on the first day of rest, you get 1.5 times your wage. On the second day of rest, you get double time. But on the third day, you go back to time and a half.
That's correct.
Okay. I was just reading that going, shouldn't it? That's good.
And I believe if I'm correct, it reflects what our previous.
It's very historical.
Hey, I read it.
Yep.
I had the same question, Betty. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah. It's like, what? Okay, you go up, you go up, and then you go down. Okay.
Yeah, the old policy had some more context in it about why, and it was because it was usually the second day of rest was your family day, and when it was historically a Saturday or a Sunday, the Sundays were generally more of the family day or your spiritual day or something like that. So still attributing time to that, but everyone's work week and things are a little bit different, so it changed to be a little bit more broad.
Hopefully, we don't have to use very much of it anyways.
That is the hope.
Thank you.
Okay, just kind of cleans up some things, addresses some things in there. Okay, no other comments? Thank you. And the media and gallery? None? We will adjourn the committee of the whole.
It'll be a good time to go back into.
Yeah, I guess.
Do we have anything else in closed other than our guest and delegate, which we gotta wait for anyways.
Finishing up what we were doing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But do you want to do the other closed